8 to 10 that you typically get a year and close, where's that business coming from? The sources.
All over. And that's so I've got a little from open houses, a little from sending out postcards, uh, repeat clients, um, occasional referral. So it's sort of everywhere.
Okay. So that coming from every direction gets you to 8 to 10. Clearly, you indicated you want to do more. And I asked that question not as an obvious question. Everybody wants to know do more. No, that's not true. Some people barely want to maintain or lower. It's not always I want to do more. So I asked that to be genuine to find out how I can possibly help you. So here's how I look at this. Number one, does it make sense to have more business coming from a specific direction, or do you like the fact that it's just coming in from various sources, keeping you diversified? In your mind, if you had to analyze that, what would you say?
I would rather have it coming from a specific or at least one or two sources so that I can actually focus on those sources
Okay.
instead of just kind of things being more random. Because I think it's
Okay.
hard to direct, messaging, things like that when it's all over the place.
Okay. Just looking to hear from you instead of me trying to impose. So the thought would be this. First of all, I need your permission to give my 2 pennies for what it's worth. Are you okay with me? Because we just met. I don't want to upset you.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. So a couple things you're saying, I want to get into the senior space. Is any of the 8 to 10 that you're closing now currently in the senior space? Not out of happenstance. Specifically, I work this market to get this.
No,
Okay.
no, I would say that I've not specifically worked that market at
What's
all, but I've
drawing
happened
you?
to.
Okay.
Hmm?
What's drawing you to the senior market?
Two things, pretty much two things. I've had clients that it's been in that realm of the seniors, whether it's helping a family member that is a senior that needed to sell because they're now going to be moving into a community. And then as well, my own family and the experience of going through that and going in the future, going through that as well.
Okay.
And just seeing where there's a, a place where I can fit, where I can be more of service than just being an agent, if that makes
Transaction.
sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Makes perfect sense. So couple of questions to make you think a little bit. And Cynthia could probably take over for me because she's been around for a little bit. So bear with me, Cyn, as you may have heard some of this before. But the thought process would be this. In the senior space, the idea would be simply as I review it, typically your elder care attorneys, your estate planners, your probate attorneys, your move care managers, they're the ones that have the senior that needs you.
Mhm.
Okay. So the question would be, how do we get those people to give opportunities to you?
Mhm.
It's simple. Let's first, we at least identify there are more, but I'm just giving you on the surface, those 4 sources, very good sources of business. For someone looking to break into the senior market, they have the seniors. Okay. So we know where all the fish are. Now we want to get our bait and throw our line in the pond where all the fish are. We got to have the best bait. Here's the thought process. Of the 10, let's just use a round number. Of the 10 clients you close, I don't expect an answer to any of this. It's to get you think. Of the 10 clients you've closed, how many of them needed to update their will? I don't expect you to know the answer. Yeah, right. So the thought process is this. As a perspective coach, I see things differently, but I'm going to show you how to make money. It's really simple. So let's write this down. 67% of the population doesn't have a will or a trust until age 72. Then it drops to 19%. The reason that's important is this. I would profess, Amy, you're already in the senior space. Nobody showed it to you. I'm going to show it to you now. Of the 10 clients you have, if the data, nationwide data, is true, here's one phone call you make every day. You're calling a closed client. How's your husband? How's your wife? How's the kids? How's the dog? How's the house? Oh, by the way, did you update your will after settlement? No. Oh my gosh, what? I'll take care of that for you. I'm long and shorting it, Amy. But my point is this. If you want the estate planner, probate attorney, if you want those professionals to send you business, you got to give them business. And the crazy thing is, you already have it. Number one, you already have their business. And number two, you have easier introductions to give them more business. Of the 10 people you closed, Do you know, if you had to take a guess, what the average age was of the 10 people that you closed?
Question. Average age, probably around 60
Of the clients you closed?
of the, yeah, well, actually, I mean, if you're going to take the average, yeah.
Yeah. So again, my point is, you're already in the senior space. We're just not doing it with intention. We're doing it transactionally. This is coming from here. This is coming from here. And like you said, I need to hone this in, give you credit. That's a great idea. But I'm honing it in on what you're already doing and saying you're already there. So now imagine speaking with all of your close clients who are near 60, which indicates 67% of them don't have a will. I need a will. No problem. I got your guy. I'll have him call you within 48 hours. So what you're doing now is you're collecting the data. And this is out of context where we're meeting. This is our first date. Like, I want to make you excited about the fact that I'm going to help you make money. You got to collect the data to validate the process. Right now, we don't even know the data. And the fact that you're taking time, thinking and looking up tells me nobody's ever asked you these questions in 8 years. These questions are where the money's at, but nobody teaches it because nobody knows it. And they're not thinking this way. So I see that as, okay, these estate planners don't know who you are. Why aren't they calling you every day? They have no idea who you are. All of a sudden, you now call them and say, I have a client for you. As a matter of fact, I have 3 clients for you. You want to talk? Right now, you don't have the leverage because you weren't taught that it was valid. But to me, that's everything I do. Leverage trumps talent 7 days a week. Leverage trumps talent 7 days a week. So if I have 3 clients for you, I've got your attention. If an estate planner called you, Amy, and said, Amy, I'm looking for a great real estate partner in such and such town, and you were referred to me by a mutual friend, title rep John Davis. He said you're fantastic. He likes me too. And I have clients every year that die and need to sell their home. I don't have the right agent. I have 3 right now. They're all on hospice. I need somebody to come and evaluate the homes to list their properties. Would you be interested in doing that for me, Amy? Do you say no to that? So now, if we reverse that role, we would jump out of our chair for that phone call. We would meet you immediately for that phone call. So if you think about it, why wouldn't the estate planner? They would, because they've never had a real estate agent call them and say, I have 3 clients for you. I have 5 clients for you. They've never had that happen. They're getting it like you sporadically or from a particular source, or next thing you know, this particular estate planner does community talks every 3 months in the biggest senior community you're trying to break into. You don't have to break into it. He's already got the keys. He would be happy to bring you along when you start to ring his bell, but you're not. You're doing, and I'm not saying you are, but most real estate agents want to network, go to functions. I'm going to meet a guy. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's get to know each other. I'm like, screw all of that. I have a client for you. It's going to make you a lot of money right now. Would you like to talk to me about it? I don't need to know that you know me, you like me, you trust me stuff. That's what the networking world tries to convince you that that's how it works. So you pay your $1,000 and join them. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. The best way for me to bridge the gap or to narrow the gap or to cross the moat, not have to deal with all that stuff, coffees, lunches, car, traffic, follow-up. I don't need to do any of that. I have a client for you right now. Would you like to talk further? Amazingly, you start to like me more and you trust me more when I give you clients. It works so well. So what I've learned over the course of time is I don't act like a real estate agent. I don't talk like a real estate agent. I'm a business owner. And I need access to your clients. And the only way I'm going to get access to your clients is if I give you more. That's it. We're selfish. What's in it for me? That's all we want to know. So what do? I bridge the gap instantly. This is what's in it for you. You want my client? Let's call him right now. Before we do, let's see if we're a good fit. And to Cindy's point, I hate giving business people the jerks that I don't like, so I got to get to know them. Get to know them. But my point to you is get to know them when you're holding the lottery ticket. Get to know them when you have a client for them. They're going to be on their best behavior. This is the best first days they ever had. I love you're fantastic. You're wonderful. Great. Let's talk about what it looks like to be a partner with Amy Hickory. I'm not looking for a provider of a service. I'm looking for a partner. And again, Amy, this is out of context. I teach all of this a lot longer. I'm summarizing to the best of my ability to help you understand you're already in the senior space. We just need to learn how to ask different questions to get the attention of the people that actually have your clients. So as an example, my other partner, Felicia Saraceno, I think, and I'm going to do from memory, I think last year she got 15 clients from one probate attorney. So you're going to be talking to somebody, respectfully, that has outperformed you from one source. One source. So what we've done is and I don't master the senior space. I always say this, when they're like, niche up, niche down, first time home buyer, investor, senior citizen. I don't do any of that. You're the niche. Invest in you, perfect your performance, and you can plug it into anything, like an actor or an actress playing a different role. So when you perfect your niche and your ability to deliver this message of how to build a board of directors is what I call them. And you're seeing it right here. I did actually a training on Friday. So if this was you in the middle, this is a perfect example, actually. If this was you in the middle, let me go down here. So this particular realtor had 4 closings last year. This is a perfect example. They were all sellers, actually. And then what she did was I told her to itemize everything she knows about the client. Now, this was her first training, so she was not prepared. So she did the best she could. They're married, 2 kids, 2 dogs, moved to California. He's a chef, or she's a chef. He's in construction. Great. Do they have a will? I don't know. Ask them. They do not. You need an estate planner. If they don't have a will, I can guarantee you they don't have a financial advisor. They don't. I know. You need one. And by any chance, they have enough disability coverage to cover the mortgage and the bills in the event, God forbid, one of them can't work. I don't know. Why don't you ask? They need that. So right out of the gate, we have 3 professionals that will make money from your effort. They go up here. Estate planner, financial advisor, insurance. 1, 2, 3. Not even talking about title or real estate attorney. Just those 3. Now, the question is, your job is to communicate with these 3 and turn them from a provider of a service into a partner contributing to the corporation, which is you. They're on your payroll. That's how I see it. So if they're on your payroll, aren't they supposed to do what you want them to do? Not what they tell you they're good at. I don't care. In order to participate in the growth of my corporation, you have to contribute to the corporation. However, what I recognize is I have to teach you that, because if I just ask for a referral, it's a threat. It's a flat out threat. And the reason I say that is because think about this for a second. If asking for a referral worked, you'd be killing it. There's 365 days in a year, and you closed 8. So asking for a referral clearly doesn't work. Threatening people to give you business clearly doesn't work. And I always jokingly say, respectfully, is your professional life worth bragging about? Not by me, not by you, mom, dad, husband. No. The example is this. How many people today are going to brag about you and bring their client to you? Well, in the course of 365 days, it'll happen 8 times. If you're happy with that, fantastic. When I look at that, I'm like, how could you possibly believe that your professional life is worth bragging about when nobody's really bragging about it because there were 365 days? And I'm not being disrespectful to say 8 is a lot, a little, too much, too much. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you analyze that. Mm-hmm. So the example that I share up here is these 3 people, at the very least, should be bragging about you every week. They're not. They're not, because you don't have partners. Mm-hmm. You happenstance is like, oh, I got one from this guy. He likes me. I got one from this girl, this source. And then when you really analyze that, what you've done to your credit and showed up here, not even knowing what the heck this was about. Like, I'm looking for this. Well, here it is. The other 2 are far better at actually standing inside the arena in the community center and knowing who to talk to, what to say, and what to bring them to get business. I'm the guy prior to that preps your mind and builds this thing for success so that they bring you in there instead of you having to knock on a door and get in. So the combination of us 3 seemingly works very, very well. And Felicia Saraceno went from magnificent wife, magnificent mother, struggling real estate agent because she was the volunteer queen. She did what every real estate company tells her, and she's been to a half dozen of them. Volunteer for this, do that, participate in that, network this, do that. So really what I heard was, your husband isn't that important. Doing this is more important. Your 13-year-old daughter is not more important than networking with strangers and begging for business. And I'm like, something's wrong with that model. So she's transformed her entire life, not because of me, because of us. And now she essentially does probably a third of the volunteering work she used to do, and has 5 times as much business because she's implementing this. What are your thoughts now? I've talked for 18 minutes straight.
All very interesting. And I understand what you're saying. And yes, and I think that's part of what this next part of putting my business together would be, is having more partners within this space than just going after clients, but that would be part of my business, is having those connections. I'm a little confused on what this so it sounds like you're like the business coach, and then like I'm trying to understand what the professionals assisted seniors nationwide productive aging club, what is this?
It's a platform we started a little over a year ago. We provide 3 calls a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday is my day, 30 minutes free. Check in, see if you like it. Then it's Wednesday is Felicia, Friday is Corey. Oh my gosh, this is really good. I'd like to kick it up a notch and pay $100 a month to have access to all their masterminds, all of their recordings, and everything else they're talking about. Then it's $100 a month investment, and you get access to everything on the site. And then if you want private coaching, one-on-one, let's go, that's $1,000 a month.
So the other 2 people that you're mentioning, what's their story? Like, what do they bring?
I was mentioning before, Felicia will do her call Wednesday. You can ask for a history. I gave you a history. She's 15 years in an executive position in the senior space. She worked in the communities you're trying to break into.
Right.
So she knows what to say, who to talk to, what to bring, etc. And she went into real estate, and she's like, okay, I know how to navigate this because I was those people. Sin, you want to say something, Sin?
Yeah, just to give my perspective, Amy. Hi, I'm Cindy in Minneapolis, and
are you
are you
an agent?
I am an agent, and I specialize in seniors. I'm like I was you a year ago. So basically, Corey and Felicia have done an amazing job at building businesses that as realtors in the senior space. They've done the homework, they've made all the mistakes, they have the blueprints, they figured out what works and what doesn't, and they share their information with us so we don't have to go through that learning curve. So Felicia was in the senior space managing senior communities for many years and then became a realtor. So she understands how those senior communities work and has integrated that with her real estate business. Corey is more into the real estate planning, like how to manage your taxes and all that kind of stuff. And so they each have a very specific area of specialty that they bring to the real estate space. Corey's in California, Felicia's in Florida. So they just bring their wealth of knowledge to us and share it with us so that we can serve seniors better.
Interesting. Okay.
Are
there usually more people on these calls?
Sometimes.
It is hit or miss. I don't know if the storm's keeping them away or whatever. Sometimes there's 2 people, sometimes there's 20, sometimes there's nobody.
Gotcha.
Yeah, very hard to predict who's showing up or who isn't showing up. And essentially, you're coming like what Cindy said, and you just continue to hear this perspective, this information. And if you find it resonates with you and can help you, you start to apply it. And then ultimately it's like, okay, I need more of this. And then you up it to $100 a month. And then you have access to all the recordings and the trainings. And I'm going to a community today. What exactly should I say and bring? Okay, click on this recording. And it's all there in the library for you. So these 30-minute calls are just like ticklers to give you an idea. Are we worthy of your investment of time and a couple bucks? That's really what it is.
Gotcha.
Cindy's been with us for a little while. And some of the things that I talk about, they are so simple in concept. And then you apply humans to it. And it doesn't always seem to work out as simply. But the thing that I have done over 20 years of doing this is I've been able to very, very effectively get married on the first date. So when I'm communicating with an attorney or an appraiser or a contractor, I'm able to get them to want to collaborate with me. All of my business comes from all these sources I'm mentioning. So all I'm doing is teaching you exactly what I do and say in order to create the reciprocal partnerships. It's that simple. So when you take inventory, you're like, okay, is what he's saying making sense? Does it work for the way that I think I can grow Am I a good communicator? Okay, I can implement that. Or I'm someone that would prefer maybe just to go to the events, maybe to communicate with people in person, and that's maybe more my flavor. Then Felicia might be better suited to help you. But you get to come to all 3 calls and just check in for 30 minutes, pull from it what you like, and then you analyze whether it's worth coming back.
Gotcha.
And Amy, I really would recommend coming on Wednesday and Friday because this style is very different for each person and their perspective is very different. I'm not gonna lie, when I first came on and Paul was the only person I saw, I was kind of scared.
It is, and I've heard that many times before. First, I think it's twofold. Number one, it's actually an intimidating message because it's not what we're accustomed to hearing.
Mhm.
And I deliver it with such a tone that it's a little intimidating. I don't do that intentionally, but I'm so passionate about this and it's so simple. Now I say simple. I'm doing it 20 years. It's simple. But in the first year, first 7 months, it was brutal. 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 So what I've done was condense 20 years into a few phone calls to get you to a point where you don't have to do all of the things I had to do to get to a point where I made it simple. And it really is in the linguistics, the approach, the communication with the right people. So that's a thought process. There was, this is, let me see here if I got this one. No. There's another one that I did or I'm doing. We got a few minutes. I'll show this to you. So this real estate agent in the month of January made $21,000 in the month of January. And this happened 3 weeks ago. We weren't even, I think it was, yeah, by this date. So my point is this realtor got a client from an estate planner. Average sale price in her area is 300. Got a client from an accountant and a financial advisor. Just do the math. Made $21,000. Now they didn't close, but in real estate, I look at what's in, who's booking with you. And when you get a personal introduction, they're not shopping you. They're not talking to 6 realtors trying to cut your fees. You came from my accountant who trusts you. You're my guy or girl. So in theory and in reality, this is a more factual looking blueprint. So I said to her and the entire group that I was training, why couldn't this happen every month? Why couldn't this woman be on a $250,000 path right now? Like, why couldn't she? Tell me why. Somebody tell me why this won't work. It's that simple. So when I say that, then it's like, okay, that's it. Let me do that. But then you got to show up and learn what to say and how to say it and how to communicate to the attorneys to get them to want to give you the business. And how am I going to do that? And so there's more to it. I'm showing you the end game. If this is something that appeals to you, and this person also was about 6 years in the business, last year closed 4. 6 years in the business, last year closed 4. Frustrated, pissed off, struggling. I'm going to get out if I can't start and write more business. And after the month of January, she joined EXP. She's like on fire. Can I bring reps on now? Like she's in her entire outlook of the business, 180-degree difference. Because she heard about stuff like this and getting business from people, but it didn't work, didn't know how to do it. And this is for most agents because, again, we're taught to go look for clients. And Paul Conte says, stop doing that. It doesn't work. Why don't you nurture your partners and they'll bring you the business? So even if this only happened 6 months out of the year, that would be 18 closings. If it only happened 4 months out of the year, it's 12 closings. Like, come on. It's really not difficult. So when people are complaining about real estate, it's because they're looking through the lens of real estate. I don't. Mm-hmm. So my perspective from Felicia and Corey is very, very different because they really are good at what they do. We're all probably pretty good at what we do, but I do nothing about real estate. I'm looking at it from a CEO's perspective, how to build a business, how to create this legacy type of income and have it be very consistent. And right now I'm going to, if I made an assumption, you probably file tax returns as well, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. And yet none of your closings that you tell me came from your accountant.
True.
The guy that knows what you do for a living files your taxes, probably has 300 clients. That's the average accountant's book, 300 clients. And nothing's coming from him. I call it, I'm going to teach you how to influence your sphere. We're trying to get our business from our sphere of influence. I'm like, no, you got to read that backwards. Influence your sphere. And when you do that, you tap into their book. So show up on Wednesday, check out Felicia, show up on Friday, check out Corey, and then decide, hey, this is worth it or it's not.
Yeah, no, I'll be interested to see the next 2 days, or Wednesday and Friday. That'll be, I'll do my best to be there.
All right, very good. Amy, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you both.
Good to see you again, darling.